So, you know,
we see
it's
the
kind of how it works.
there.
Hey, well, we can cheat. We got totals. Keith, I'm going to say there were 2.3 inches in Westport Island, just totally guessing.
Almost everyone got 2 inches, pretty much. That's what happened. Except for the mountains, they're still waiting for their totals there. But yeah, most of us fell in line. You know, the most interesting thing that's happened today, this afternoon, that was not well forecast by us or the models, is the freezing drizzle that we've seen in a lot of spots as temperatures really struggle. So most of the snow now out of the entire state, but it's been this low-level drizzle that's not really being picked up well on radar until you get real zoomed in here. And the surface temperatures have stayed cold. The wind shift has been slow along the coastline and inland, and so we've kept temperatures in the upper 20s and low 30s, and we've drizzled some of this down and it's frozen. So just watch that here for the next few hours. Temperatures are warming. 33 in Wiscasset, 30 in Portland, 26 in Lewiston, but where it's still in the 20s, just offshore here, we're looking at that freezing drizzle signature continuing for the next few hours. Not a lot of precipitation, but not the kind you like to see. So not much of a break. Here comes our next system moving through upstate New York. This one does look warmer than today, so tomorrow will be a situation in which the coastline is largely rain with just a little slush, and the mountains will be the areas that pick up a jackpot there, another 4 to 8 inches of snow. Guys, this is the first story, but the second story is how brutally cold it's about to be, so we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Yay, thanks so much, sir. So many people spend so much time planning their days and their weeks around the weather, but some of the people that we count on to give us that weather information aren't getting paid right now because of the government shutdown.
Like the National Weather Service, which is still operating, but only in its essential capacity. So Chris Costa spoke to people around the state today about why the work they do is so important.
Yeah, Lee and Lindsay, that's right. School superintendents, state offices, emergency management agencies, they all rely on that info from the National Weather Service. These federal employees provide those weather warnings 24/7, even without a paycheck. When a storm is coming, agencies all over Maine rely on the National Weather Service offices in Gray and Caribou.
So we get essential urgent information that we can advise either school departments, local officials to make the calls that they need to make.
Art Cleaves is the director of the York County Emergency Management Agency. His job is to help the 29 cities and towns be prepared for major events, including storms that could affect driving or power outages. He closely monitors reports from the National Weather Service and the U.S. Geological Survey.
That will tell you what you're going to have to use for forces, or if you have to call in additional help from other departments of state government or federal government in a major emergency.
The National Weather Service is operating, but only in essential capacities. The agency declined our request for an interview and sent a statement that says, in part, with several storm systems impacting the country, staff continue mission-essential functions, like issuing weather alerts that school superintendents like Bill Webster look at before making the call to cancel classes.
So we're looking at that quite extensively, and more so than any other services.
And they watch the stream flow gauges to monitor those so we'll know what to expect in the spring.
Art is looking ahead to spring and worries that the federal workers at the Weather Service and Geological Survey may not be able to perform other duties like snow surveys, which can predict snow melt and flooding.
But the work that they do today and in the next month or so provides us the information which will tell us what kind of flooding we might expect in the spring in our rivers.
So emergency management agencies like MEMA rely on those forecasts also to decide whether or not to close or potentially delay the opening of a lot of state offices. Even our meteorologists rely on those National Weather Service alerts, and they pass those along to you, the viewers. And the York County Emergency Management Agency, they were supposed to have a meeting for training with somebody from the National Weather Service this week. Obviously, because of the shutdown, they cannot perform that. So Lee and Lindsay, that is kind of the situation that a lot of these people are facing. They rely on this info that they're still getting, but a lot of those extra sort of outside of the normal essential duties, they are not happening.
All right, Chris, thanks so much for looking into that. The Maine Public Utilities Commission is ordering a full investigation into Central Maine Power's billing, metering, and customer service issues during a public hearing. This happening after challenges to a third-party audit of the power company. The central question that the public put forward, the PUC put forward, do the audit results warrant moving from a summary investigation to a full investigation?
Maine's public advocate challenged the results of the audit in a formal request for a full investigation into the issues with Central Maine Power's billing, metering, and customer services systems. Well, much more on the story coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30 and 6 o'clock. Would you like your town to pass a policy where employees actually earn paid sick leave? We want to know where you stand on this one. Vote in our Pulse poll on our website and the mobile app as well. Join the conversation right now on our Facebook and our YouTube live streams, because universal paid sick days have been a massive topic of conversation in the city of Portland for the past several years now.
Groups like the Southern Maine Workers Center have been working to bring an ordinance before Portland City Council that mandates all Portland workers receive 48 hours of earned sick pay. Cameron O'Brien has been following this issue. She has the latest live from City Hall. Hey, Cam.
Hey, Lee and Lindsay. So yeah, that rally before the meeting at 5:30, there was a rally at 4:30. It just wrapped up, and I think they ended it by replacing the words of Elvis's hound dog with sick pay. So that was pretty interesting. But on a more serious note, this is an issue that impacts over 19,000 Portland workers, and I actually got to meet with 2 of those 19,000 earlier today. I met with a woman named Marie. Now, Marie has been living in Portland for 7 years, and she works as a caretaker. So she cares for the elderly and she cares for people who are mentally disabled here in Portland. And she tells me that she does not receive sick pay when she works. So she either has to go to work with a cold, or if her back or knees are killing her, she has to go, because if she doesn't, she runs the risk of not being able to feed her family. She's a single mom, and she said that job is the only way that she can make ends meet.
If I'm sick, I don't get paid. And when I'm not getting paid, I'm not able to take care of my kids. As an immigrant, I can tell you that I left behind my people. If I don't work, everybody is affected universally.
So this issue is something that's drawing a lot of attention here in Portland. That atrium behind me, we're in Portland City Hall, and the atrium behind me was jam-packed with people at that rally at 4:30, listening to the stories of many workers who say they experience things quite similar to Marie. Now, back to that Pulse poll that Lee and Lindsay mentioned. Right now, it's at 50-50. Yes, some think that there should be earned sick pays, and some don't agree. Well, this is a conversation that's going to be continuing all night long. At 5:30, that's the meeting when the folks down here go up and present their case to City Hall, the folks in Health and Human Services here in City Hall about that ordinance. So we'll follow up with what's going on in a couple of minutes. But for now, back to you, Lee and Lindsay.
All right, Cameron O'Brien live at City Hall in Portland. Thank you very much. All right, still to come, it's a topic that's been talked about many times over many years. Skowhegan area residents will be discussing the Indian mascot once again tonight. We'll let you know the details about the latest public forum.
And it's the story of 1,000 dresses. Many are just like new or brand new, and they have nowhere to go. A nonprofit's new mission to keep the doors open for hundreds of Mainers who depend on them.
Okay, so like when you want to tie this tie around my eyes, is it now or? Hey Seth, before this happens, I need to tell you how this works. So,
If it doesn't snow,
Yeah.
50-50.
So I have to ask you this, and I've been waiting for right now to ask you this. Coming from the sports world and
Hey,
such.
Keith, your mic might be on. No, it's on. Forget it. Liam screwed up. So what?
Coming from the sports world,
Yes,
you know who Lindsay Zarniak is.
Yes.
And then we know who Craig Melvin is, and they are married.
Yeah.
Craig Melvin's on the Today Show. Well, I'm obsessed with them. I just think that they're two fabulous human beings. I've never met them. I would like to meet them. I just started listening to a podcast that she does about all things sports, but it's very specific. She interviews country artists about their love of sports. So she asked them, like one of her token questions, she asked all these country music artists, like Darius Rucker, Scotty McCreery, Sarah Evans. She asked them, what's your Super Bowl moment, like as it relates to your career?
Sure.
I think that is such a cool question, don't you think?
Yeah, I like it.
So I was thinking of you, like having the sports world, but then now you're applying your sports knowledge to what we do on News Center Now, and that's kind of like what she's doing. She's using her knowledge and using it in the podcast world. I drove for 3 hours today, so I listened to 4 episodes.
How was it? Good?
It was really good. I actually think you would enjoy it. I'm actually not even, you guys are probably going to not like me for saying this, but I'm not really a huge country music fan either, and I still enjoyed the podcast. So.
I just thought of something. So Liam, now that I've switched to mic 8, they can't hear me, right? Because I had to switch mics. So mic 8 isn't through that board.
That makes total sense.
Because they're like, I can't hear Lee, and I'm like, well, because that's my mic.
Yeah.
Stand by on 9.
Sorry guys, we're having
Sorry.
some mic issues.
Kyle says, no brainer, of course employees should earn paid sick time.
All right, the ongoing debate over Skowhegan's controversial Indian mascot will continue tonight, where the school board is going to be holding a public forum. That's where News Center Sean Stackhouse is tonight, joining us live. And Sean, what is expected from that forum tonight?
Hey, Lee and Lindsay. Well, what we're expecting is a big crowd, much bigger than the last school board meeting that they had here in Skowhegan. As you can see, there are already people filling into the Skowhegan Middle School gym. They normally hold these meetings in a cafeteria, but they're expecting a lot of people to be speaking tonight. That sign up has been going from 5 and will go until 6. And some of the people that we expect to hear speak are members of the Skowhegan Indian Pride group who are hoping to have this mascot stay the same, but we're also expecting to hear from some tribal leaders from around Maine. So there's a very big crowd that's going to be pouring in, and we'll hear a lot of passionate speeches from Skowhegan residents as well as Mainers.
And Sean, we understand that Governor Mills has voiced her opposition for Skowhegan's mascot. What can you tell us about Mills' role in this debate?
Well, Mills, in a way, sort of started this debate up again. She wrote a letter to the school board chair here in Skowhegan saying that she wants the name to be changed and that she wants the school board members to listen to Maine's indigenous people. And now this discussion has been continuing, and actually one of the tribal leaders around Maine, Molly and Dana, who is the ambassador to the Penobscot Nation tribe, actually spoke at Governor Mills' inaugural address. So this is something that Mills really stands for, and we're actually going to be hearing from Molly and Dana later tonight.
All right, Sean Stackhouse live in Skowhegan tonight. Thank you very much for that. Stay tuned to the News Center as we continue to cover that story. You did not have to check your snow day calculator this morning because a Lewiston superintendent, or actually the Lewiston superintendent, brought the news straight to the students in a very unique way. Check it out.
There is no school today. Curse me or praise me. There's no school today.
Mr.
Very
Webster
good.
turned himself into a one-man band this morning, sending music videos to students and parents, officially canceling school.
He played not only what you saw there, but the piano, ukulele, and it was a minute-long song revealing he's not just a regular superintendent, he's a cool superintendent.
And I believe he's retiring at the end of this year, so he's got a future in front of him now for music now.
He's going out on a high note.
Clearly.
You're welcome.
Okay. Dad jokes. Update on our Pulse poll.
The non-parent is giving the dad jokes.
Your town to pass a policy where employees would earn paid sick leave? 53% of you say yes, 47% no thanks.
And thanks for joining the conversation on our Facebook live stream. All right, we're going to continue our conversation about that during the Facebook Live break, and Cameron O'Brien's checking in with us for a second time.
And speaking of sick leave, Keith. It's been out a lot ever since Luca came around. I'm just saying. We'll check in with him if he can make it through. No strap on this one.
Bird Box Challenge.
Hold on. Wait, who is that?
I'm over at my desk. Do you want my microphone? Because now you can't talk.
Nope. You can only talk to Lindsay now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know how to help you there, bud.
No, it's fine. I can't talk to people anymore.
Let's see. I can talk for a few seconds. So Christopher is kind of talking about the other side of the conversation. He says, let's make all jobs equal and give equal pay and equal benefits. What's the point of going to college and getting a degree if you can work at McDonald's and earn $15 and paid sick leave, $15 an hour?
Jeff says his large company has 98,000 employees worldwide and they do not get paid sick leave. So it needs to be a national issue, not just a local issue. Good point.
Amy's watching from Boston.
What's up, Amy?
Kathy says no sick pay should not be decided by the city or town. That is a company issue, company by company.
Yep.
All right, I'll be right back.
I feel like that's.
Are you gonna mime to everybody?
No, we'll just take you.
Okay. All right. All by myself? Okay. Oh my gosh, my desk is so messy. It's fine though.
See, the thing is, yesterday was leg day, Bill. I don't know how low I could get and stay there.
Okay. What do you need me to do?
Nothing, I was just explaining to Bill, that's all. Do you want it centered, or do you want like some pictures of the dress and flower or further? Do you want me to start on the monitor and step back? Or?
Sure, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I can start on the monitor and step back.
Thank you.
Try not to hit you.
Oh, that's fine.
This is incredibly uncomfortable.
At least you buckle into this thing. Some people don't buckle in.
Oh, I'd drop it if I did that. I couldn't hold it.
I'd be shaking.
It's usually the sign of a genius, though. 10 seconds, stand by. Three, two, one.
Cocktail dresses, evening and wedding gowns. It might seem like we have to spend $1 million to feel like $1 million, but for the last 6 years, a Maine nonprofit has worked to change that, helping hundreds of girls find the best look to feel their best selves on their prom nights and wedding nights. But now their doors are closing, and they hope it's not for good.
Yeah, I grew up in Naples. My mom was a waitress, so for her, she couldn't afford to get the dress that I wanted.
For Lacey Snell, the Maine Event Prom Project is more of a passion project.
I see the need in our town, in our local towns. I understand what it's like at the end of the last year of school to want to feel beautiful. The LGBT community come because it's comfortable. We're not judgmental. It's an open space. You know, a lot of girls that probably wouldn't have come.
Snell and her team dipping into their own pockets to cover the cost to rent the space.
When we look at everything we have here, it's spectacular.
You'd never know 1,000 gowns and accessories to match are inside the second floor of Beth's Cafe.
We actually got a wonderful donation.
But it's all under tarps or in bags, ready to be moved out.
We have to be out of the space within 1 month.
They received an email on January 1st from the business owner saying they are, quote, moving in a different direction and all items must be removed.
We're kind of scrambling.
The owner of Beth's Cafe declined our request for comment.
Absolutely stunning stuff.
As soon as the Maine Event Prom Project finds a place to go, they're ready to thank all the volunteers who helped them move in a big way. The girls will each have their choice of one dress.
While it's unknown where they'll be able to store it all right now, they're hopeful they too will find the perfect fit.
I loved those shoes, by the way. They had a great selection. All the donated items are available for a small donation or at no cost at all. And they have several events throughout the year to welcome everyone in to shop around, try the gowns on. But it's a year-round project for them.
Well, and it seems like it's a tremendous organization that provides a service that is needed and utilized in that area. So certainly hoping that they find some place where they can hang a shingle and still service those people, because that would be a loss without them. So
we'll keep y'all posted.
All right.
Keeping us posted on this snow situation.
I'm already mad about what's coming next.
Yeah, you know, it's just like these two storms together. Like I said, that nobody's that excited about this.
No,
you know, it's
I'm not about the cold.
It's not a
don't care about the
nor'easter.
snow
Oh, the
anymore.
cold this
That's
weekend.
what I'm talking
Brutal.
about. I don't care about the snow.
Brutal, yeah. So slushy out there. I will say quite a bit of little freezing rain, freezing drizzle this afternoon. That was not overly well forecast. We'll show you that in a second. The snow has moved out, and our next round of precipitation lurks to the southwest. But look at this low-level stuff that wasn't showing up on the radar for hours at a time. But it was just cold enough at the surface and just warm enough aloft that we did get and are still getting freezing drizzle coatings across much of the state. Not a huge deal on the roads, but it is pretty dicey on sidewalks and surfaces that aren't, not moving over quite as much. 30 in Portland right now, 33 in Wiscasset. Just to give you an idea, the computer models had us almost 40 degrees at this point in Portland, and we're at 10 degrees cooler than that. So that sets you up for what will likely be a colder, icier night than originally thought, and temperatures in the 20s across northern Maine. Here's our next system. Doesn't look too great, pretty disheveled, but it's going to encounter that colder air overnight tonight with some freezing drizzle and some snow moving in. So here's your hour-by-hour forecast, and notice that we do have that freezing rain signature late tonight into early tomorrow morning, just away from the immediate coastline. By tomorrow morning itself, we should start to warm up enough along the coast and even inland that we start as rain, and the morning commute should be pretty decent most everywhere. The exception, unfortunately, being Freiburg to Berlin, across northern New Hampshire and into the mountains of Maine. But then cold air comes back around during the afternoon tomorrow, and the snow crashes to the coast briefly. Probably not a big deal, a dusting to a half inch, but it will be coming back through during the evening commute. And then we're done with the storm on Wednesday night. Things are quieter, but much colder for Thursday and certainly into the weekend. Meanwhile, notice that upslope signature in the mountains means snow and snow and snow there for quite a while. So I pushed this line back even farther. And so now we're looking at a dusting to 2 inches of slush all the way to Augusta, Lewiston, and Bangor, 2 to 4 to the northwest of that. And then really the mountains in northern Maine are the ones that are going to see the accumulating snow. Another 4 to 8 inches of snow there on top of what's been about 3 or 4 thus far. Guys, take a look at this. This is Saturday morning's temperatures. It's going to be cold. 2 in Wiscasset, 4 in Portland, 9 below in Rangeley, 12 to 15 below in a lot of the mountains. And the high temperatures won't do a whole lot better. Look at what I have for Saturday, 11 for a high, 18 on Sunday. At this point, it's looking like that storm on Sunday should miss us, definitely, probably even miss Gillette, but it will be very cold for the game, regardless.
Imagine that, football game that's cold in January.
I always wonder what people who watch just Patriots games think of New England, because it feels like the weather's always pretty rough when it's
Whenever
playoff
they're on
time.
national TV, it's cold.
They must think it's a real tundra here.
There you go.
Arctic tundra. All right, we're checking back in now with the topic of paid sick leave and the city of Portland. Cameron O'Brien has been following this issue, and we're checking in with her live. Cam, a lot of people there at that meeting?
Yeah, absolutely. Lee and Lindsay, I first want to mention that Pulse poll. A lot of people putting in their responses, which is fabulous. We want you all to keep doing that through the end of the show. Right now, it's about 55-45 on the yes and no answers. A lot of people getting into this. Now, you see behind me, the atrium's not too full. Well, that's because everybody already went up the stairs to go into council chambers for that meeting. That starts in about 5 minutes. And here are a few facts about earned sick time and the impact it would have on Portland workers. Well, they're working towards having 48 hours of earned sick time, and it would be for all Portland workers. So that means if you're working in Portland and you don't get sick time, this is for you. If you don't get 48 hours worth of sick time too, this is also for you. They're anticipating that this ordinance would impact 19,000 people, which is a lot of folks. And the folks who are advocating for earned sick pay say that it increases productivity in the workplace, it improves public health, and most importantly, it provides a critical safety net for low-wage workers. So this is a massive issue here in Portland, and it's sparking debates all across the state. Again, that That meeting is at 5:30. We're going to be there, and we'll let you know how it goes. But back to you for now, Lindsay.
All right, Kevin O'Brien live in Portland tonight. Thank you very much. Okay, Stella the dog at it again, trading in fall leaves for some snow. The video posted on the pup's Instagram account, a dog named Stella is giving us a reason to smile about the snow. Who would not want to jump into a pile of snow wearing butterfly wings?
Oh,
come on, Stella.
Happiness in a video.
Stella's getting her groove back.
She is.
She never lost it. All right, brain drops when we come back.
Stella is so sweet. David says he's from Peaks Island, great place to be from, but he's watching from out of state. He says people in food service industry often go to work sick because they can't afford to miss work. This puts the health of customers at risk, especially those customers who already have compromised immune systems.
So when this first even became the beginning of this discussion, I have to talk into your mic.
Yeah.
We interviewed a restaurant owner who said that very thing. I mean, because when your industry is based on tips, like most people in the food industry are, the restaurant business are, if you don't go to work, you don't get paid. So, and if they get paid their hourly wage, remember, waiters and waitresses, what do they get? You know, $5, $6 an hour,
right,
without tips. So if you're only going to get, you know, $40 because you for your 8-hour shift at $5 an hour, you might go to work even if you're not feeling great because you're hoping to make $200, not $40. But then you're handling food and you're not feeling great, and all of a sudden we're eating it, we're not feeling great. So,
or no matter the business you work in, you're getting your colleagues, your coworkers sick.
Yeah. So that's definitely something that's been talked about. So Keith will tell you just to take a little Echinacea. Echinacea.
What's brain drops today?
It's a fun one. Just some picks today.
It's not going to leave me scared like yesterday. Yesterday's really worried me.
I actually got a tweet about that. They're like, wow, that was a...
I got a Facebook message about it too, actually.
It's true though. I really don't think...
Somebody tweeted the two of us as well, that they're going to be awake with nightmares of asteroids destroying her while she sleeps.
Right.
I wouldn't want to know that information anyway.
Correct.
But to now know that they really probably wouldn't tell us, in your opinion.
You know.
Yeah.
But could they keep it a secret in today's world? That's another thing.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Nobody keeps anything a secret.
Especially when there's not much recourse for leaking it. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be fired.
Yeah. Well, we're all gonna be dead soon.
Yeah.
So.
But we really don't have much of a system to do anything about it. We watch them, but we don't.
Yeah. What could we do?
Not a whole lot right now.
Intercept with a rocket.
Tractor beam.
Send Randy Moss to go get it.
Checking in one last check with our Pulse poll results. Yes, 60% of you saying that there should be paid sick leave. Thank you guys so much for chiming in.
I really scarred you guys yesterday. You're still talking about the fact that an asteroid could destroy civilization. So let's do something fun today, which is this is actually the 1st and 2nd of January, but I wasn't working. So they had quite a bit of snow in Arizona, which parts of Arizona do, but these particular areas not so much. And some really pretty footage here. I mean, you don't often see the cacti and the mountains and stuff. And then let's go to the next one. I think we had some in the Grand Canyon as well.
Cool.
It's really cool stuff. Now, there are some areas like Flagstaff, Arizona. I like to use that as an example. It's a great trivia question. They average 108 inches of snow a year in Flagstaff.
I think we talked about this last year.
Yeah, because it's shocking to people that there are places in Arizona and New Mexico that average a lot of snow. But and I think we have one more that's a video that's really pretty here. What is striking and what we don't get much in the East is, you know, they call them bluebird days, right, if you're skiing, to have that kind of snowpack and then have it be just absolutely beautiful behind it. This, guys, by the way, was when we were on the other side of this and we were relatively mild. And so there's a yin and the yang to the whole pattern in the United States, and often when we're way above average or we're warm, the West is cold, and vice versa. So you'll see when we go into the freezer this weekend, if you looked out west, you'll see that we're way above average. So you guys feel better than the asteroid thing? Or?
The thing I really took from this is cacti.
Cacti.
I thought that the plural for cactus was cactus.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, you might be. I'm saying I learned.
I think I'm right.
If you're right,
quick
I learned.
correction actually about the dinosaur thing. Got an email yesterday that I said archaeologists, and I got a correction from this PhD that archaeologists do not study dinosaurs. That's paleontologists. So correct.
Wow.
There we go.
So
that's like only the second brain drops correction, which isn't too bad. Isn't too bad.
You saw that. History made here today. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now. Bye, guys.
Bye.